Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Friday, November the 25th. It is Black Friday, and we are here the day after Thanksgiving. Everybody moving around, traveling, doing stuff. So hopefully everybody's enjoyed family, friends, and safe travels, and everybody gets to have cool backgrounds like me. No dirt, no nothing, but we're here to talk basketball.
We've got the spare bedding from, people staying with us.
That's what Thanksgiving's all about, right?
Exactly.
That and winning DFS. So we are here with a really busy 13-game slate, and that doesn't count the early games. So we've got a lot to cover today, Deb. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. To you as well.
Really enjoyed you and Steven and Crash on the football deal the other day. That was a lot of fun.
It was fun. We had a couple of good picks there, too.
Yeah, you guys did. You really did. So that's fantastic. So we're going to hit this main slate tonight. It is a great card because obviously the NBA was dark yesterday. And so we've got a pretty full slate today with 13 games, not counting the one game earlier. So just about everybody tomorrow is going to be in a second night of a back-to-back for the slate tomorrow. So we're going to go through. We'll talk a little bit about ownership. We're going to break it down for you game by game and get through all the way here. We've both got stuff going on. So we're going to move at a better clip because, Deb and I can get a little long-winded on these babies. Didn't we have an hour and a half, 3-game slate one time?
Yeah, exactly. The world record.
The world record. So at that pace, we would have been here for like 5 hours for this slate, Deb. So we're gonna just get right to the chase and go after these games. And I'll tell you the one thing that in preparation, Deb, that surprised me is just so many players out and so much weird ownership numbers projected.
So weird. Yeah, I was really surprised by that. I think the providers were on Thanksgiving break or something.
Somebody, or they ate too much turkey, something,
Exactly.
They screwed up some stuff. There's no doubt about it. But anyway, certainly happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully everybody's having a great weekend. Maybe some of you folks had the guts to get out there and go after some of these Black Friday deals. We've got our own though, Deb. If you see that scrolling on the bottom for all our members that are in here and those that haven't pushed the button just yet, we'd love to have you come and join us. We have our Black Friday / Cyber Monday all combined in one deal, and it goes from today through midnight on Monday, and it's basically a BOGO. Whatever you sign up for, we have a much simpler sign-up process. There's only 4 choices. You can jump in for a week, a month, 6 months, or a year. And we would love to have you try us out. And if you do any of those and you see what the membership prices are right there on dfscoachtalk.com. For example, a week is $9. That's it. But when you buy it during between Black Friday and Cyber Monday, you get double. So for $9, you get 2 weeks of Coach Talk. And everything we do is completely all the sports, everything that we bring forward, content, lineups, members only podcasts, everything that we bring forward. So we would love to have you join us and get double the bang for your buck during this weekend all the way through till Monday. So dfscoachtalk.com. We have, like I say, it's right on there, and you will get double the bang for your buck just until Monday.
That's awesome.
If you're watching on YouTube, a quick thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and if you can click that alert in the upper corner, you'll know when any of our podcasts post live. And if you're watching on Twitter, if it's live on Twitter, we also would appreciate a quick like and retweet. All right, Deb, I want to say hello to Rodney Pollard. He's our Thanksgiving turkey. He's the turkey because winning turkey, good turkey, because he's the first one in here. So, Mr. Pollard, hats off to you, my friend. Stacks Money Double Sevens, my Luca fan brother there. How are you? Happy Thanksgiving. Nathan Feudy, of course. Double D, Damian Darby's in the house. Sarugi W, king of all trades. We got the goats here today. Travis Wyndham. Boy, the hotels were packed during this Thanksgiving. We know Travis has money, hundreds falling out of his pocket again. CMO 614, how are you, my friend? T Sims, we got to get T Sims in there with us too as a member. Aloysius 5, of course. Bev, who's in there. Deb, that's Deb's nickname because she was called Bev the other day. So, and Jugga Kushti, of course. Alvarado is going to be chalky, and it's hard not to want to go on hit with him because he gets like 6 steals every time he gets a big minute. So, no doubt about it. Davion Cuff, how are you, my friend? And the boy from Cali and Michael Perlman, both brainiacs, came in at the same time, which is a good sign. Now we can get started, Deb.
This is awesome. What a great turnout.
What a group. All right. We're going to go right into the mix. Game number 1 starts at 7 o'clock. Again, we're not covering that Minnesota-Charlotte game. It's not on any of the main slates. Philadelphia 76ers 9-9 at the Orlando Magic 5-13. So we know that they're in those Wembanyama sweepstakes trying to get that set. By the way, too, Deb, did you notice? I have to throw it out there because it jumps up at me now, and I just love it. RotoWire now, again, we're going to give a free shout out to one of our people that we love working with and one of our companies, and RotoWire is one of those. Did you see they have projected minutes now?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. I've been using it.
Yeah. So if you are on RotoWire and you're looking at like NBA lineups, hit that projected minutes and it gives you a graph right out of what the expectations are for that game. So I have my own process that I put together, and we utilize everything here at Coach Talk. If you're new to Coach Talk as well, it's we're going to utilize everything that we can to give you the best lineups when we're giving that core lineup on Draftkings and full lineups on Fanduel and Yahoo. But every tool that we can use, including this new added projected minutes on RotoWire is awesome. So
yeah, it's really awesome.
We're going to get into this. We know that Joel Embiid, James Harden, and Tyrese Maxey are out. That's all for Philly. It's like 1 million points right there. Also, Springer and Thibault are out. Then we need news on Carter and Okeke. That's extremely important.
Yeah.
And those two are questionable. We already know Anthony, Fultz, and Isaac are out. So an absolute boatload of usage has to go to somebody with those 3 studs out. Yeah. And the question will be, where is it going to go? Well, it's the spread here is Orlando only by 2.5. Only, I say, because can you believe they're favorites over Philadelphia?
Unbelievable.
I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I mean, I almost have to say Orlando's the play because I expected Philadelphia. I don't care how many guys are out. I thought in this scenario, they'd be 3-4 point favorite.
Totally.
I was shocked. And it's only a 213.5 total, 105.5 for Philly, 108 for Orlando. So what do you have game 1? What do you think?
Yeah, it was funny looking at this game first, and I started out picking some guys, and then I realized, what, with 13 games, there's no need to go deep anywhere. And the reality is, I think it's the lowest scoring game on the slate.
It is.
And I think if Philly, they may not have the offense, but they've got the defense. I don't really love anyone in this game. I think, possibly a couple of value plays on the Philly side, because like you said, the usage has to go somewhere. Paul Reed at 4,800. He's a really good points per minute guy. Yeah. Possibly even someone like Korkmaz, who they're bringing back now, who's starting to get the minutes. They're super light on guards, and he's only 3,200 on DraftKings.
Right.
But I'm really not I don't want to pay up. I mean, Melton is, I can't believe he's over 8,000 on DraftKings.
Unbelievable. Melton and Milton. And Melton's 8Q, Milton's 6K. Those guys were 3,000 and something at the beginning.
Right, exactly. I mean, 6K is not bad.
That's reasonable.
It's reasonable. There's just so many places to go. I'm really not going anywhere except, like I mentioned, possibly those two guys. And then, on the other side, Mo Bamba, and if Carter Jr. is out, Mo
Right.
Bamba will start. And he is, from a GPP standpoint, I mean, he's 6,400.
I know.
He's 0.1% owned.
I know
So
it.
if he starts my GPP lineup, I may be looking at Bamba.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to wait for that news to drop because Okiki's also questionable. So they're going to be shorthanded, but Banchero's back. So that is one good thing, but he's 8-6. I mean, this game gives me a stomach ache because they're out of the 13 games, 6 of them are over 230, Deb, and 2 of them almost hit 240. And you look at this game at 213.5, man, you're going to really have to hit the exact nuts on the guys that you play here to really get them to excel. And my concern is, yes, I think D'Anthony Melton is a great play, but at 8-2, it's just, I don't know how you push the button. I can see Shake at 6K, Tobias at 8K. I think those probably, to me, would be the 2 best plays, but I just don't want to get stuck in the Tucker, Harrell, Reed, Niang, Korkmaz, because I got a feeling House, they're all going to chip in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm, if I pull a trigger here, it would be right to either Milton at 6K or Harris at 8K. But I'm not going to mess with anybody else. And then on the Orlando side, I think if Carter is ruled out and even Okiki, I think Bamba will gain a lot of ownership. But I'll tell you what, man, I cannot stand playing that guy. I just can't. He drives me crazy. I mean, he's 6'4" to begin with. At 4'6", I would play him, but 6'4" is a lot. And you just don't know. I mean, I remember one game I faded him, and I think he had 5 threes in the first quarter. I'm serious.
I remember that game. I remember that.
And then the other time when I played him in a similar situation like this, when he was forced in, he got hurt. And so, my track record with Mo Bamba is just annoying. So I prefer in that game, again, I don't want to spend a boatload of money, but I would think if you're going to go a one-off, either spend up for Suggs at 6'7", Banchero at 8'6", which I wouldn't go there because he's just coming back. He's probably going to have some type of restriction. But what about Bull at 7'2"? I mean, he's not that much more than Bamba.
No, but you know what? Tucker defense, I mean, 7-2, I just think starts to get into a stratosphere where there's so many other guys on this slate that you look at, like, an Anthony Simons or a Nikola Vukovic or a Miles Turner. I mean, all these guys, I got to play them over Bull. So
I know Bull's like 2 feet taller than PJ Tucker, though, isn't he? It feels like it anyway.
Yep.
So I mean, normally with all these guys out, you think, okay, value game, let's grab some. But man, you gotta hold your nose a little bit on this one. It's hard.
So. Yeah, I think so.
All right, let's keep trucking here. 7:30, we have the Portland Trailblazers and the New York Knicks. The Knicks are favored by 3.5. It's a 218 total, so another small total. 107.25 implied for Portland, 110.75 for the New York Knicks. Portland comes in 10-8, Knicks 9-9. So both staying in the hunt, even though they've had quite a few injuries too. Right now, you've got Eubanks questionable, so Crash is going to have to rethink his entire lineup again. Deb, we know that. He's a Eubanks card-carrying member of the fan club. But he's questionable. Johnson, Lillard, and Payton are out. And then for the Knicks, we've got questionable tags on Reddish, Mitch Robinson, and Derrick Rose, which, would be nice to know what the heck's going on in those particular instances. So a little bit of a tough one to gauge here too. So right out of the chute, I think you got 2 games that can give you some pause. There's no question about it. So
I felt that. Yeah.
Yeah, Garuba is on my eyeball list here, boy from Cali, and it makes me terrified. But we'll get to that, Deb. I'm glad he brought it up now because
Yep. Oh, I don't know.
Here's Rose. I can sing that now because the World Cup's going on too. So that's a familiar tune for everybody. In fact, I don't know if anybody's watching. It was 0-0, as they say in soccer. Did anything happen with USA and England? Does anybody know?
It stayed 0-0.
It stayed that way?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay. All right. So what do you think here, Deb? What are we going to do in this ball game?
Another low scoring game. At first, again, no ownership on this game to speak of whatsoever.
No.
I do like a few guys here. I mean, Brunson, 7,300, super fair price for him.
It is a good price.
Grant is soaking up all of that usage from Lillard being out because, Hart's not a shooter and Winslow's not a shooter. So he's only 7,100. That's also a real fair price.
Right.
And then, I was on the, what's his face? I was on the Cam Reddish bandwagon, min salary, starting shooting guard, who was doing great for me. And now it's Grimes time. So
it is Grimes. Yeah.
I'll be back on Grimes
if Reddish is ruled out, that's the key.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, those two, if they play, are just, I would assume, eliminate each other. I mean, just because I think Grimes has earned some minutes, whether Reddish plays or not, I would think.
Yeah.
The
question is, if Reddish plays, will he get enough? Yeah.
That's the tough part. Also, Doug L, we're going to make you Doug W today. Rico Harris JT, back from tour. Timberlake doing a little Thanksgiving tour. And did I say hello to Juggakushti? I think I did. I just like saying that because it's an intriguing name. For me in this game, Deb, it's really difficult because, again, you got a pretty low scoring group here, but you would think you'd have a boatload of Portland value with Dame being out. It is as funny as it is with the Drew Eubanks questionable tag. If he is ruled out, it actually gives a little bump to Nurkic for me because I think he gets a few extra minutes and he's sub 7K. So, when you can get a sub 7K starting center that should get a full run here, I think it's a decent play.
I like it.
So he's on my radar. Josh Hart's been good at 6'5", and again, the Knicks are playing fast, so this isn't the old Thibodeau team where they walk it up the court. So you can get away with paying up for a Simons or Josh Hart. The guy though that is my wild card right now, Deb, and that I've got in my initial build here, Justice Winslow at 4-1. What do you think?
Yeah. He was the other guy that I had as well. He's just, he's a little bit random. He doesn't always shoot the ball. He gets you those peripherals, but he doesn't always shoot the ball. But if you can get 10 points out of him and then some peripherals, you have a home run. So.
Yeah, and I mean he does. He's the kind of guy that can throw a triple-double up. He really is. I mean, he plays a point forward, can deliver the ball, can finish. I just think at 4-1, think he's the sneaky guy that grabs that usage when people are paying up for Simons and Hart and Grant and even Nurkic. So I'll have some exposure here on that side. Nice pace-up game for the Trailblazers. Knicks, though, price-wise, just not quite where I want it to be to roster anybody. I think Brunson and Randall are. I went that direction the other day. They're both a little pricey, in my opinion, and it didn't quite work out. So, again, with more of a rotation and using a few more guys than he's done in the past, it's definitely hurt some of the output from some of the regulars from the Knicks. Mm-hmm. So, not right now, not on the Knicks. Not going to get caught up in that fiasco with Robinson and Hartenstein and Sims and all the bigs there. No thanks.
Agreed.
Let's move on. Next one, 8 o'clock, New Orleans Pelicans, Memphis Grizzlies, Memphis minus 2.5, 227.5 total, 112.5 implied for the Pels, and the Grizzlies check in at 115. We've got, let's see here, where are they on this board? They're all spread out all over the place here because there's a bunch of games at the same time. Yeah. Pels are 11-7, Grizzlies are 10-8. We've got my man Troy Murphy, who was a big winner for me about a week ago when he had to step up. He's probable, and that could mean something today because no CJ McCollum, who's out.
Right.
That changes everything for the Pels. For Memphis, you've got the big fella Steven Adams questionable and Conchar questionable. So that doesn't help matters. Aldama is looking like he is not going to play. And, of course, Desmond Bain, Green, and Zaire Williams remain out. So I don't know. The number's decent at 227. It's not great, but it's okay. Without McCollum, are you going to – I mean, I know it's Chalk City. Let's just go ahead and talk about it right now, Deb. Jose Alvarado right now is 50% owned, for crying out loud.
You got to put him in though. He's good. I mean, the only thing is you could, if you really wanted to go contrarian, you could play Devontae Graham, who has like no ownership. Now he's not going to start, but he does get the usage when McCollum's out.
He does,
and he's been playing well lately. So that would be the total contrarian play.
I think it's a reasonable pivot.
Yeah, because it's just, Alvarado is going to be the expected. Now Morant's defense is not that great, so Alvarado could get real pesty and do real well. I actually think they'll both do well.
Yeah, I mean, that would be super contrarian to play them both. But, I mean, I have Alvarado in my initial build, and I know it's really is ridiculous chalk, though, at 50%. There's 26 teams playing on this slate.
I know. I mean, it's crazy.
You never get anybody anywhere near that. And that's just wild. So I thought it was amazing. And it makes me want to pivot from him, though, to be honest with you. But
I hear you.
I do think he's a good play, though.
I really like this game.
Well, guess who the next highest owned guy is in this game? So he's basically at 50%. And then you look at the ownership from this game, and you have to scan down. I just want to make sure it didn't change, and scan down and scan down.
There's probably, nothing.
There he is. Are you ready for this one?
Go for it. Who is it?
Brandon Ingram at 5%.
Wow.
So the game, it's Alvarado and nobody in this game.
Right?
So what are you doing?
I like this game a lot. I'm gonna go pretty heavy on this game. I like I said, I like both Alvarado and Graham. And I'll choose one or the other. I'll probably do Graham for GPP. I like Ingram a lot. Again, we've always said it. When you have McCollum and Ingram in there, it's always they split the usage, so it's kind of tough. But without McCollum, I think it's going to be a lot of Ingram. If Conchar, plays, he's not the best defender. If he doesn't play, then you're probably going to split time. I mean, there's probably going to be a little bit of Tyus Jones in there. But I think so. I like Ingram a lot, and I don't mind Zion. I mean, if you need a forward instead of a guard, Zion instead of Ingram, I think they're priced about the same. But I like this game a lot. And then I also like Morant. Morant's ownership right now on DK is 1%.
I know that. I'm shocked at that, to be honest with you. Now, I think it's twofold. One, he is 10-7, so he's expensive. And two, I think that people are figuring Alvarado's going to harass him.
Right.
And he is a steal machine.
Yes, he is. Alvarado's a steal machine. But I don't know. I think, but Morant is Morant. And, he's going to, he can fly past Alvarado. I don't know. Right now, on a slate like this, it's tough to pick out who's your pay up guy. But I am definitely, from a GPP standpoint, I'm eyeing him because, again, at 1% ownership, that's pretty insane. And I think his floor is pretty high.
You got me, because that's my pay up tonight.
All right.
I love Ja Morant. And here's the thing. I know Jose Alvarado is scaring people off. I expected Ja to be low owned, but not like not owned.
Right, exactly.
And I think his price is fair. And here's the thing. Alvarado is a nice defensive irritant type player, but he generally does that against the second units of teams.
Right.
He could still bother the good players, but Ja's a superstar. He's another level. And I think, usually he's outstrengthed by a lot of players, but he's not going to be outstrengthed by Alvarado. So he can actually even back him down a little bit, which you don't see Ja do that much. So I just love the spot. I like the fact that, when you look through, you go, by the way, if you don't do it now, you should do it. Basketball-reference.com. Go to advanced stats, drill down to usage. You can move players in and off the floor to see where the usage goes. And that's, in my opinion, everything or the biggest part of building a DFS roster is looking at that usage. And Ja takes a massive jump when Desmond Bane is not on the floor. Yeah. I mean, Bane is a leader as well, and he and Ja sort of run that team together. But when he's out, it's Ja's ride. It's not Dylan. People say, well, Dylan Brooks. No, Dylan Brooks is one of those free spirit dudes, man. He's just going to play hard defense. He may get in a fight. Right. He's going to chuck a bunch of shots, but he's not the leader kind of guy. And really, it's Ja and Bane. And I just love to play Ja wherever I can when he's low owned. And it's in a situation against the Pelicans where they're going to move the ball and their backcourt's going to be jacked up without CJ. He's played all year. So I think it's a spot where you can have a big edge on the field at low ownership, throw a 70 burger on the board and move on down the road. And I'm really all in on Ja tonight. That's a huge play for me.
Nice. All right. I'm with you.
And then as far as on the Pelican side, I want to see exactly what's going to happen here with their lineup and how that's going to work. First of all, I would not play Joe Val at all, because if Adams sits and the Grizzlies start Brandon Clark, I think, number one, Brandon Clark's a great play if he's starting, and it could happen. And if that also happens, it's going to play Joe Val off the court because he's too slow. And that means they'll bump Zion down, probably get more time for Nance or Murphy, which will move those guys around. So for me, I do want to see the news here. I wouldn't mind going a little value in this game along with Ja. And I don't think it's a bad idea to play Ja and Jose Alvarado. No reason why you can't.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where I am right now in my key lineup. Yep.
Good. All right, let's move on. Let me see. I'm going to go back to this page because.
All right. So Okiki and Wendell Carter Jr., according to Boy from Cali, are out.
Oh, that's okay. So there's your Mo Bamba play, and there's my Bull play.
Yeah.
So that's what's gonna shift there for me with that. And with Okiki,
I'm gonna take a look. If usage doesn't go up, I do like it. But if usage goes up, I just still so many better plays on this slate.
You mean ownership?
Ownership, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ownership, yeah.
Oh, Bomba's gonna go through the roof.
Probably. Yeah.
I think. But, Franz Wagner with Okiki is a chuck and ducker too. But I don't know. That's a tough call. That's a tough call. There's no way you could spend that kind of money on Banchero just coming back.
No, not his first game back too.
No, there's no way. All right, let's keep moving. Let's see. I'm trying to see they have the games in different orders where I'm looking them up today. So I don't want to repeat over myself here. So let me go back to this screen. Here's where I started it. Okay. We've got the Brooklyn Nets at the Indiana Pacers, also an 8 o'clock game. We have one of several 230s games. Brooklyn's road favored by 3.5, 233.5. This could be a key game, Deb. 118.5 projected for Brooklyn. 115 flat for the Indiana Pacers. And then in this game, as far as injuries, we are looking at the 9 and 10 Nets. So all this, the Nets are dead. Fire the coach. Suspensions. They're almost back to 500. If they win this game, they will be. And they're just missing now Watanabe and TJ Warren. So they got their squad going somehow, some way. For Indiana, Isaiah Jackson, who backs up Turner at center, he's questionable. And Nembhard, the rookie, also questionable. Duarte and Tice are going to be out for a while. So, yeah, this game really intrigues me, Deb. And I think that you're going to need some exposure here. I don't think this is a game you can look past.
No, I think that's right. I mean, just with the total alone, but I'm going to be real careful here because, with Kyrie back, he got, I know Ben Simmons doesn't get a lot of usage, but he does, get a lot of assists and rebounds and steals. And so the big three between Durant and Irving and Simmons, they're going to split it up a bit. Durant has not been, scoring as high fantasy wise since Kyrie's been back. Right. And I just don't like their price point. So I'm actually, I will have a little exposure this game, but on the Brooklyn side, it's going to be Claxton. He's who I'm eyeing. He's, he's played, these teams have played each other a few times, and he's played consistently well against the front court of Indiana. No surprise. I mean, and he's only 5,200. So I like Claxton a lot. On the other side of things, I do like Halliburton, although, when I look across at, some of the other guys that I can pay over 9K for, he's probably only about 4th or 5th on the list for me. So, right. And I don't love Turner here at this price point. So I'm going to go a little bit light, but primarily Claxton for me.
Okay. Do you think this, when I was game scripting this out, Halliburton jumped out to me early on, but then I thought to myself, as I looked at these matchups, especially with Indiana being shorthanded, I think Ben Simmons guards him.
Could be.
Yeah. And which is amazing because you got a center basically. Now that Ben Simmons is, it's just so.
I wouldn't be surprised. He's the perfect guy to guard him.
I mean, I think he guards Halliburton, and that's why I'm not going to play Halliburton. I think Simmons is playing more confident. He's getting more minutes. And at 7-2, I don't think he's the worst play.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. He's solid. I mean, particularly on a cash game basis. Like, he's not going to get you 50, but 35 to 40, yeah. Absolutely.
The thing that sucks is in DFS that's frustrating is they don't adjust the pricing on the big money guys when their big playing partners come back. In other words, KD in over 11K now really doesn't deserve to be over that with a healthy Kyrie Irving. So that needs to go back to where it was before Kyrie went down, which was like 10,000, 10,200. That makes sense. But when you have to pay over 11K, and Kyrie Irving is a big usage guy too. And, that's the problem that I have there. I just can't pay that number for KD. Now, I know the Pacers are terrible defensively. They're a little shorthanded. There should be a lot of points. I just can't go up to that number. So
that's where I am.
And Irving over 9K, not, now the problem with Irving though, that scares me is he's the kind of guy that can go nuts and break in a heartbeat. And that's a little bit, discouraging, terrifying. Especially if the line stays like this and Brooklyn's favored by 3-4, Vegas knows their stuff. And this game, everybody gets full minutes here. Yeah, I mean, I'm really worried about fading all the Nets.
Yeah,
I
hear you. You know what? It would just be tough to pick which one, to be honest. I think it's more likely to be Kyrie, but I just, number one, until he goes off, coming back. I mean, until he goes off, I'm not ready to do it. And I just, I don't like that price point. So.
Yeah, I mean, if I can make Kyrie work, he probably would by default. I just to save a couple thousand from Durant, when I think he could absolutely score the same amount of fantasy points in this game.
Yeah.
I really do. If I have to go bargain basement, and I have not played Simmons very much at all, but I am starting to trust him a little bit. And you do risk some foul trouble because Halliburton is played such a good level. But yeah, I'm going to try to get some body
Okay.
in there if I
Okay.
can.
Well, Claxton's my guy, but I don't blame you.
On the other side for the Pacers, again, I'm not going to play Halliburton, although I think he's awesome. But, where do you go? Buddy Hield's been very inconsistent.
Yeah.
Nesmith, Jalen Smith's been inconsistent. You really, with this many players to choose from, it's hard to go there. You also, had TJ McConnell get a pretty big run last time out.
Yep.
I do, I'm in the same boat though. Miles Turner, if Isaiah Jackson is ruled out, I believe he's questionable, correct?
Yep.
If he's ruled out, Turner becomes a better play for me because I do think he'll get a little extra run, and he's always a great, fantasy points per minute guy. So Miles Turner could be at 7-4, my center. He and Bol right now are battling for that potential spot.
Okay.
All right, let's move forward. Let's see here. The next game.
We got to move quickly here.
All right, let's pick it up. Cleveland and Milwaukee. Cleveland only 215, so this won't take long. 105.25 for Cleveland, 109.75 for the Bucks. And in this game, as far as any injuries, we've got Locke, Stevens, LeVert, Love, Rubio, Windler out for Cleveland. Holiday looks like he's playing. Connaughton and Ibaka questionable. An Ibaka site.
Who cares?
Joe Ingles and Middleton are out. So we know we have two terrific defenses here and not much pace, but you've got a 12-6 and 12-5 stud teams here. So yes, I know, Coach, you're in the dark. Sorry, Mr. Mike Tyson. That's because I'm wearing this white shirt. It's sucking up all the energy and light. I apologize. So what are you going to do with this low-scoring, good defense game?
You know what I'm going to do with this? I'm passing altogether.
Are you really?
This is my pass game. Every big slate needs a pass game. This one's mine.
I don't blame you. Justin Jennings, absolute power. Mr. Earl Tyson, known as Mike Tyson. We're not going to have time for a 2 for Brains one, but I will do a 1 for Brains one tomorrow. So Deb's got to get rocking and rolling here. So we got to get this sucker done. Carter's ruled out. Okay, I see that. And that's great news. Somebody likes Knox today. Oh, KOS.
Ooh. Too big of a slate.
Yikes. Yeah. This game's a tough one because I don't think it's just a complete, move on. I know the numbers say what the numbers are, but there's still some good plays in this game. 12-4 for Giannis. I'm not going to go there, not with Mobley and Allen both playing. But you know who I'm thinking of? Donovan Mitchell. Any love for him?
Not on this slate, and he's priced up. He's playing really solid, but he's going to get. Well, I don't know if he'll get Drew Holiday defense. That might be Garland.
I think Drew's going to play Garland. That's why I like Donovan.
Probably, and the weak spot for Milwaukee is the 3-pointer, but
exactly.
Yeah, you know what? I just with Garland in, I think that dilutes Mitchell a little bit, and with this low scoring, I'm not going to go there again. Too high. Where is he on FanDuel?
He's still priced a little high, but
9,600 on FanDuel.
I know, 95 on DraftKings. The thing is, though, he's come down. He was over 10K. Now that Garland's back, he's drifting down.
Yeah.
I just think, excuse me, I think he steps up today because this is such a big game, and new team wants to be part of the leadership here. it's more of, and I know you're not supposed to say this as a provider. It's everything is exactly as it winds through all the statistical. Sometimes you just got to feel for stuff. And I just have a feel that Mitchell is going to step up today at almost no ownership and just a sneaky play here. I think I'll come back and say, there you go. Mitchell was a good step up play for me.
All right.
We're going to keep going. Next one is the Atlanta Hawks at the Houston Rockets. Atlanta favored by 8. We have a 2:30 game here, 232. 120 implied for Atlanta. That's a big number. 112 for Houston. So I know this game is going to be super duper popular. A lot of people are going to drift to this game. And I understand it. It makes sense. And you've got no Bogdanovich still for Atlanta. And really, Fernando questionable for Houston. Sengun is out. I guess doubtful, but I don't think
he's game time decision. But yeah,
I saw doubtful.
Okay. Everybody, so that's why Garuba's in the mix, right?
Well, that's what we're going to talk about. And then Gordon and Tate are also out. So, yeah, I hate to say it, and it's funny that it's you and I on this podcast today. I think Garuba, if that's the case, and definitely he's not playing, I think Garuba's a great play. You think I'm crazy? I know he's single-handedly buried.
If Sengun sits, I don't think you're crazy. But man, it's just so hard to play someone like Garuba on a slate like today.
I know.
The same thing with, what is it? It's Eason. Tari Eason's ownership is like through the roof.
Yeah,
the fourth highest owned guy on the slate.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at ownership from this game, yeah, Eason is the one people are going to at 4,000, but I'd rather go to Garuba. That's just me. I think Eason has been looking like a rookie. I mean, he's decent, but I don't know if he gets the majority of those minutes. The other guy people are going to, and I thought about as well, and I still haven't made the final decision. If I didn't go Garuba, I wouldn't go Eason. I'd go KJ Martin.
Right.
KJ's 4,300.
Yeah. I've played Martin a few times this year and, kind of mixed results, right? I mean, the problem is with these guys, like sometimes they'll give you a 30 and sometimes they'll give you a 15. But, Porter's back. Green's going to play. Jabari Smith is playing. So, I think it does come down to the news on Sengun. If Sengun plays, I'm not touching Garuba.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But I don't think Sengun plays.
And I do agree with you with particularly with Tate out. I think Martin is sort of maybe the safest play, so to speak. I just may not touch any of them.
I wouldn't touch Smith Jr. I know KOS. I mean, a lot of people will. I just don't like him. Now, I will say this though. If you remember, Deb, I think I was on with you. The game that he started at center, remember when they bumped him down to center?
Yeah.
He actually played decent. So I do think, if he's not starting at the 4, if they don't, let's say Sengun sits, Garuba doesn't get the start, and they just bump him down to the 5, then you got to think a little bit about Smith Jr. But that's the only set of circumstances. Yeah, we need the starting lineup for Deb.
And he's been playing, for sure. He's been playing more consistently, I will say. Yeah. Like since November. I mean, October was kind of abysmal. He's all over the place. But in November, he's definitely been more consistent.
He's improving.
And I do like him. I agree. Did somebody in chat mention him?
Did somebody in chat say that again?
In chat mention him, Smith Jr. King of Smack. Yeah, I agree. If Sengun sits, I think I'm going with Smith Jr. over Garuba.
See, it's all dependent on who starts to me. If they start KJ Martin and bump Jabari down a center or whatever that happens, I think you got to wait and see that personally. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
because that news is extremely important. So
the other piece of news is Capella going to start? Are they going to, is he injured and they're going to start a Congo?
Well, that's the other side. That's the other spot where, I'm a big Okongwu guy. I can't wait till he takes over full time for Capella. I think he's going to be a terrific center in this league. And I, how much I hate John Collins. So I think if Capella sits, I don't think Okongwu's a bad play at no ownership at a super cheap price too.
I totally agree.
Because Houston may not even have a real true starting center in this game, so I can't wait for that news. So that would give me a whole nother element. Then I can get up to the Donovan Mitchell along with, the bigger price guys like Ja and stuff. So we need this news. I mean, it's that simple. That's key. Anybody else for you from Atlanta? I'd never talk about Trae Young and DeJounte Murray because they're too expensive to me.
Yeah, they are. I mean, I've been eyeing Trae Young. I mean, he's playing well. This is the team. I mean, if you're playing against Houston, I mean, you're going to score a bunch. You're going to get a ton of assists. So he's there for me. Again, he's also less than 1% ownership. But when I look at Trae versus Morant, I'm more on Morant. But Trae's definitely in my top 5 on plus 10K guys tonight.
Is he?
Yeah.
I can't get, my biggest beef right now with all the sites is they just don't adjust. Murray's price went way up when Trae is out. Trae comes back at the same big price. Murray's doesn't go down enough. And it creates, spots where really realistically, unless one of the guys gets in foul trouble or something freaky, you can't get enough bang for your buck. And that's what kills you. So, all right, we're going to keep moving. We go to the next one. Let's see what we've got here, Deb. We've got the Chicago Bulls and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Chicago, a road favorite by 3, a big 232.5, 117.75 for Chicago, and 114.75 for OKC. Another game that makes you look at it and say, wait, there's some good plays here. And how do we play all these guys? How many lineups?
I know. It's crazy.
It's nuts. So injury-wise in this game, you've got Chicago 8-10 and Oklahoma City 7-11. Dragic, questionable, doesn't matter that much. We know Ball, Muscala are out. So the main guys are going to roll. Dosunmu, Levine, DeRozan, Williams, and Vuk against SGA, Giddey, Dort, Poku, and JRE. That's what we're going to see. The question is, can you pull a trigger on any of these guys, or do you trust either one of these sides?
Where are you on this one?
Where am I?
Yeah.
I am from the school of thought of I love playing SGA as much as I can, but I already made the decision that I'm going elsewhere because I'm going with Donovan Mitchell as a really contrarian play and a few other spots. And I do respect Dosunmu defense. I know he gets smoked sometimes, but he is long and lank. He could bug SGA a little bit. And I just, with both teams basically at full strength, in my opinion, of course, Lonzo Ball's been out all year, so that doesn't count. But I don't trust DeRozan enough with Dort defense. Levine can get hot, but he's not reached his number. I mean, a lot of people are probably going to go to Vuk because he's priced right. I just don't – I couldn't get settled on feeling comfortable. This game's probably going to be no ownership for me, and I don't think – I mean, it's 232.5. So if you can come up with somebody, go for it, but I just didn't feel comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think, again, Shea was another one. Put him in the same set with Trae and Ja and Tatum, and he wasn't making it for me. I think Poku on Draftkings at 5K is interesting. And the only real guy that I'm real serious about, but he's chalky, so I don't love it for GPP, and that's Vukovic at 7,500. That's a good price.
It's too cheap. And the thing is, I think that's why he's getting so much ownership. But I'll tell you what, that's a dude that does disappoint a lot.
Yeah, he does.
And that's the only tough thing with, when you look at that is, do you really want to roll with him? But I mean, I'm with you as far as value for a guy that can get out there and get the minutes and get it done. I mean, I totally understand it. I will tell you right now, where Vuk stands is, let's see, where is he right now? It's not, I don't see it. He's only 11%, Deb.
Yeah.
That
Okay,
makes me more
really?
interested now.
Wow,
7,500 on DraftKings, 11%.
I know, right?
Yeah, that really makes me think, is Bol really a better play than Vuk?
Exactly.
So I gotta look more at that. I think I looked earlier. Vuk was like 20%. I don't know what happened, but let's dig in on this some more and see what we come up with.
All right.
What else do you have there? Anything?
That's it for the game. Pretty light. That's it.
Yeah, I think it's just it's too volatile for me. All right, the next one is where are we? I had to remove some bots. We got even the Black Friday bots attacking us here, Deb. I had to block them out. Sacramento Kings at the Boston Celtics, and Celtics are everybody's favorite, 238.5, and that's not the highest number. So how about that? You've got 115.5 implied for Sacramento, 123 implied for Boston. So they both hit that magic number, which you got to love. But Boston's a pretty big favorite, 7.5, which I think is fair, because Sacramento has played good ball. Can you believe that I'm saying those words together?
I know.
But they're playing decent basketball. I got to give them credit. So these teams come in. Sacramento's 10-7, Deb, 10-7. Wow. Boston is 14-4. Sacramento, 0 injuries. And the two guys that have been out all year for Boston are out. So we've got that dilemma. Everybody's playing. Both teams are playing good. Huge total. Fox is almost 10K. Sabonis is 9K. You got to, take out a second mortgage for Jason Tatum at 10-9.
Seriously, I know.
8-5 for Jaylen Brown, who ends up getting the secondary ownership because nobody can afford Tatum half the time. And then you just got all these other guys back. So like with Boston, Brogdon's in, Grant Williams coming back off the bench. All these guys have played big minutes when people were out. Yeah. And then Malik Monk had got some good minutes, and Terrence Davis when everybody went bonkers on him for a while. I'll tell you, Deb, this game is really annoying from trying to determine where you want to go. You can go cheap with like a Murray or a Barnes, a little bit more for a Herter. I don't think those are bad plays. You can risk it and go with a Marcus Smart, who we know broke the slate the other day, Derek White, but I don't want any of that. With Brogdon and all those guys back, it's nerve-wracking. I wanted ownership in this game so bad, but I'm embarrassed to say that my initial build, I don't have a single player from this game. So talk me into somebody.
Jason Tatum. I mean,
you're going for the big Jason Tatum Bucks?
He is. I've got a lineup that's got Morant and Tatum in it.
Wow.
He's arguably the most consistently good non-center player this year.
He get a lot of MVP votes right now.
For sure. Yes. I like him in particular on Fanduel at 10-2. I like him. I can fit him into a really nice lineup. I just think, against Sacramento, like he's easily 50 plus. So I like him a lot. And then really the only other guy in this game for me and it's on DK would be Derek White. I think Derek White's gonna have a good game. He's a little too pricey for me on FanDuel, but on DraftKings 5,300, I think he goes above 30. So I like him again against Sacramento. I'm sorry.
Brogdon's so good though. I love Malcolm.
I've always loved Brogdon. But Brogdon's really more of a point guard.
I know, but it just that usage, the minutes chopped up, having the ball in his hands, it always worries me. So we're getting all kinds of requests here. So we're going to keep firing through these games, and we're going to try to give you the best of our brush of cores and everything. What's your drop dead time here, Deb?
7 minutes.
7 minutes? Holy
Got
shit.
7 minutes left. Yeah.
I may have to finish up with a few builds on my own and just let it
probably.
roll because I don't want to make you late. So
Unfortunately,
yeah. So I see all the questions coming in there. I just keep trying to move, and then I'll get back to a few of these questions, and we'll let Deb get moving because
Coach will take care of you guys.
Family first is what it's about. We know that. All right, so let's get through these games at least before you have to roll.
Yes.
Next one on the list is it the Wizards and Heat, Deb?
I've got yes.
So we have 5 games left in 7 minutes. Miami 3.5-point favorite, 213. So that should scare the heck out of everybody. But there's value here. It's 104.75 for Washington, 108.25 for the Heat. And we have a lot of news in this game, and not all of it has shown itself. But we know that Beal, Hashimura, Morris, Davis, all questionable for Washington. So that's concerning.
Mm-hmm.
And then sort of a joke with Miami. So Highsmith, probable. Kane, Dedmon, Hero, Strus, Vincent, all questionable. Martin, doubtful. Butler, Oladipo, Robinson, and Yurtseven out. Are you kidding me? So how the hell are you supposed to figure this game out?
Seriously.
I mean, any takes here?
Man, a couple. So Avdija just seems too cheap. I think Hashimura is definitely out, so he's going to get the lion's share of minutes at that position. Excuse me. So I like him as a value play.
That's what happens when people roster Denny Avdia. They start choking.
All choked up.
How's that for a warning?
True.
Denny Avdia.
Crash loves him, and I avoid playing him all the time. And then the time I play him, he's lousy. But no, I like. I'm sorry.
Who said I swore? I didn't swear. I don't believe I swore. I think somebody's making it up. So I don't give a damn what you say, Saruji.
I think
go ahead.
I think Beal's going to sit. So I like Avdija. I actually really like Kuzma in this game.
Okay.
He's going to be going up against Jovic. And he's been playing really well. I think he's a sneaky play. He's not that cheap, so I think people are really going to overlook him. I think he's got less than 1% ownership. I think he's going to have a really, really solid game. Okay. And then I think you got to, I don't know. I mean, I think you got to fire up Lowry again. You know, I mean, Strus is out. Martin's questionable now. So, although he was doubtful, so he's moved up. If Martin plays, I play Martin. And I think that's it from the Miami side. I'm not a fan of Bam. He's just too hard to predict. And Lowry, I struggle so hard to pay up for Lowry. So I don't love the game overall, but I do like a couple of guys in Washington.
I mean, it's massively lower expected score than some of these big games. So that's one reason to steer clear. There are a million games at 8 o'clock. So I need the news here before I can truly feel good about recommending anybody. That's why if you're not a member of Coach Talk, man, I mean, you're going to be missing out on some of these members only podcasts. And then to get this news, you got to go down to the wire because this kind of stuff is extremely important. If Tyler Hero's back and they're going to let him get full minutes, I mean, we'll read and find out, and we'll know going in. Same thing with Strus. If he ends up getting put in there, Jovic, I don't think is a bad play, you know, in those circumstances. If all those guys are out, Lowry could be a good play. You know, then you've got the whole scenario of Morris and Beal don't play. Do you jump? I don't think you go to the backup guards. I think you either go to Kuzma or Porzingis and go ahead and pay up there. So I don't think this game's a washout. I think you need the news, and then you can make a few determinations there.
Totally agree.
And then, Deb, when you have to go, I can absolutely finish by myself.
Yeah, I'll probably just pop off. So
okay.
Thank you.
You going to go now?
No. We'll go one more.
Okay, one more game. for Deb, and then I'll finish this up, and then I'll give you some core builds for some of the folks there. So the next one we've got, oops, I'm on the wrong page here. So when you rush, you always screw it up. Okay, Lakers, Spurs. Lakers by 3, 232 is the number, 117.5 for LA, 114.5 for the Spurs. And from what I see, I think LeBron and AD both play. What do you think?
I think AD plays. I don't think LeBron plays.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I think they're going to rest him one more game, not against San Antonio away.
All right. Do you, in that case, is AD a play for you then?
AD is then definitely a play for me. Yeah. But if LeBron plays, then I'm not going to play AD.
Right. I'm with you. I expect LeBron in. That, again, we need this news, and there's 100 games at 8 o'clock. So we're going to have news. Be ready to pivot, people. I'm going to be on. I'll be watching this very closely. You know, I don't at 10-4 LeBron and 10-9 Davis. You can't. You know, to me, I'm not going to go there if they're both in. And I think as of now, LeBron plays, but we'll see. We need that news. That's completely unofficial. Don't want any of the backups for the Lakers. Not interested. And then, you know, the Spurs, you look at their squad there. Let me just tell you real quick what the latest official aspect of in and out in this game, because, you know, obviously that's a big determinant on if you're able to go with anybody here. You've got AD probable, Juan Toscano probable, James questionable, Pat Bev out for starting another fight. I know Jordan Hall's out, questionable for San Antonio. McDermott, one of your favorites, Richardson and Wesley are out. So you got the main cogs of the Spurs in there. So
so here's my quick take on it before I run.
Okay.
Like I said, AD if LeBron does not play. If LeBron plays, I'm not playing either of them, just at the price points. With Beverly out, I like Schroeder, 4,100. He's going to get, they're going to up his minutes to at least 27, 28 minutes. I think there's a little bit of a narrative with Walker. I think it's his first game back in San Antonio, so he's at 5,200.
Good point.
And possibly Thomas Bryant, 3,800. Although I'm too big of a slate, but I think he'll break that number. But I actually have too many value guys today. So
right. Well, you have a good stars and scrubs build put together from what I see.
For sure. For sure. So that's it. All right. I got to run.
And you'll be back for lineups for the members, right?
Okay. You got it. I will. Right, I'll be posting. All right.
Thank you so much, Deb.
Bye-bye.
All right. All right. I'm going to finish this up. I'll switch to there we go. The single view. All right. You know, I love the Lonnie Walker revenge game narrative, though. I'm glad she mentioned it because I think it is in play. I did see the news pop here where Reddish is out, which makes Grimes extremely palatable at that cost. He's definitely on my ticket. I get the Jaren Jackson thing, a little monster, just to catch up on some of this stuff. I just, he looked phenomenal the other day, but as soon as he looks phenomenal a few games in a row, he finds a game to get in foul trouble because that's the big nemesis with him. And I just am worried about the matchup for him with foul trouble. I'm going to go backwards through some of these so I can catch up on these, and then we'll finish the slate off, and I'll give you a couple of core builds. Let's see here. This is a Brown and Brogdon night. I just don't know how with all these teams playing, you got to really have some confidence with somebody coming off the bench that may only get mid-20s minutes. It's just hard for me to pull the trigger on that. So Travis likes KJ in there. If he's going to start, I think KJ Martin's a decent play. I need to know who's starting for sure. Let's see. Porter Jr. Yes, I agree there. Doug L says Okiki night. Didn't somebody say Okiki was also out? I thought, let's double check that. I thought Okiki and Carter were ruled out. Let's make sure we get that in there. Strus is out. So again, if Hero is in and going to play 30 minutes, if we can get that, I'm going to dive in and find what that news is, because he could be super, super sneaky here. But if he's only going to get limited minutes, it could be a killer. There's a lot of guys in that price range that are dangerous for sure. KOS is fading the big price guys, going with mid-range. I've had a lot of successful mid-range builds, my friend. I'm telling you. Yes, and happy holidays to everybody too. All right, let's dive back in. Let's keep going here, because we're not going to have a boatload of time to get these final builds, and we still have so much news that needs to drop. It's sort of ridiculous. All right, we go to 3 games left. We have the Pistons and Suns. It's a 9 o'clock game, so we have a 9, a 10, and a 10:30. So it's a basketball hysteria night for sure. This is the biggest spread on the board, so definitely some fear of blowout, no doubt about it. Phoenix is favored by 12, 224 total, 118 for the Suns, 106 for the Pistons. And I think you got to be a little bit afraid of, a lopsided game here. The Pistons have been on the road, a young team. They've played way over their heads for some of these games. Even though they're only 5-15, they've been competitive. Phoenix now really righted the ship, 11-6. But, they're playing without 2 starters, really, Chris Paul and Cam Johnson. And, of course, no Crowder this year, and Shamit's been out. So that was 4 of their top 7 rotation, literally. So it's not like they're playing with all of their bullets in the gun here, but they're playing good ball. And Cameron Payne, we know, can step right in. And the DFS world has priced them up because of it. And then with Booker, Bridges, and Ayton in there, and Torrey Craig's been a really nice fit. He's basically taken the Jay Crowder role and really run with it. On the Detroit side, though, News City, and we need it. Diallo, Hayes, Ivy, Joseph, all questionable. So that is a massive piece of info, because Bay and Stewart and Cunningham are all out. So again, I'm afraid of a blowout here. This is the one game on the board that I put a minus on some of my projections, because I'm a little bit afraid of it being a little lopsided. But I need the news on Detroit, because I think a Detroit guard, the last man standing, if it's Ivy or Joseph or Diallo, if there's a lot of these guys out, somebody's going to fall into 30 minutes at a super cheap price and can get it done. On the Phoenix side, again, I'm not going to pay up for Booker, and I'm not going to even pay the elevated cost for Payne or Ayton. I think the game can be a little lopsided. We're getting some more minutes from Biyombo behind Ayton. And so Phoenix is going to be a team that I'm going to pass on today, simply because of the game scripting aspect of things. All right, let's move to the next one. 10 o'clock, Utah at Golden State. This is the highest number on the board, by the way. And we understand why. The pace has been great. The defense, even specifically on the side of Golden State, has been a lot less than we've seen in the past. Golden State's an 8-point favorite here, which is a pretty good number considering that Utah's played well, from beginning to end so far. 239, though. So we're almost at that 240 number, which we haven't seen very often this year. 115.5 for the Jazz, 123.5 for the Warriors. So really healthy on both sides. And it creates a scenario where I do think you have to have some coverage in this game. Jazz come in 12-8. Golden State needs this win to get back to 500 at 10-10 if they can win it. So it's an important game from them. They have everybody in there except Iguodala, so they're ready. And I think that's why they're a decent favorite. As far as Utah, their point guard Conley is still out. Gay's still out, and Balmaro. So they've got their regular group in there other than Conley. And this pace and this game set shows for some really high-level potential DFS points here. And I think it's something that you have to consider. Now, you can go a few different ways. You can go up, pay the big bucks for Steph, He's 10-6, which isn't that bad considering for Golden State. Certainly a possibility. Clay, we know, can throw in a pretty decent game from time to time, and he also has a lot of duds too, but he's only 5'8", so you're getting discount city. Andrew Wiggins is only 6'4", and that has some interest for me. I don't like the way or the role Draymond Green seems to be a little bit less effective and a little bit less in crunch time. We're getting a lot of rotation with different guys in there. Pulling DiVincenzo, Lamb, Kuminga, all those guys are grabbing some minutes. So I'm not touching Draymond. He's even been running some with the second unit in that rotation, which isn't the worst thing for him statistically. But I don't know. Just, if you're going to pay almost $6K for somebody, I want to make sure they're going to get all the crunch time minutes if possible. So it's either Curry pay up for me or go bargain basement for either Clay or Wiggins and hope they have one of those games where they stand out. On the Utah side, I've been huge on the Malik Beasley side of things, and he's really come through for me, and he's still sub 5K. So at 4.9, I'm very interested. I like him better than paying up for Jordan Clarkson at 6.7 personally. I will say that Colin Sexton is 4.6. So one of the two value spots there of Sexton or Beasley are not a bad play. I will say, though, that Beasley has been closing games. He's been playing clutch, and I think he's a decent guy where you need some value. Of course, Lauri Markkanen, he's now flirting with the 8K number, so that stings a little bit. Probably just a little rich for me. If I could get him even mid-sevens or lower, I'd be back with the Markkanen bandwagon there. And then if you want to go to Kelly O for value, another value center, we got a boatload of them today. He's coming in at 5.2. So, again, both sides, you can definitely have some exposure, and you're probably going to need some with this game, very possibly the highest scoring on the board. All right, the last game, and then we'll talk about some core plays here. It's the Denver Nuggets and Los Angeles Clippers. Denver's favored by 3.5. It's a 218.5 total. 111 implied for Denver, 107.5 for the Clippers. Again, a game that's got some volatility. No Kawhi, no Paul George. I mean, the Clippers, you never know what the hell the Clippers are going to put out there. Always somebody hurt out, key players. And no Luke Kennard, too, as well. So 3 scorers. Kennard's, not in the same breath with George and Kawhi, obviously, but they all can score the basketball. Also, injury-wise, you've got Michael Porter questionable for Denver. Looks like the Joker's going to play. Ish Smith questionable. And Bones Highland is out. So the 11-7 Nuggets, 11-8 Clippers. So somehow the Clippers have still maintained some winning games, even with all of the bench guys. I do like some of the Clippers' value here, specifically Terrence Mann and Marcus Morris. I will probably have one of those two in my build. I just think it's a good spot. All the usage has got to flow somewhere. Is it going to flow to Jackson, Amir Coffey, Zubats? I like the pricing more so on Mann and Morris, and I think they have the most to gain with George and Kawhi and even Kennard out. So interesting game there for sure. All right, let me dive back in real quickly here to, let's see, Nurkic should get a few extra minutes. Yeah, we talked about that. Eubanks is out. So that does definitely elevate Nurk for me. No doubt about it. I think that makes him, at that price tag, a pretty solid play. And I have not dialed Nurk up very often this year at all. So we'll see where those guys go. All right, let's look at a couple things real quick here. Let's go to Draftkings and just talk about a few people. I'll give you 3 or 4 guys I think that are playable. I like Ja Morant at 10-7. And I know people are going to run because of that price. I like him tonight. I like him for a 70 burger DFS wise. That's one of my key calls of the day and a very, very important play on my behalf. I'm fading some of the big priced shooting guards. Booker at 9.9, DeJounte Murray at 9.1, Jaylen Brown at 8.5. But where I'm going to be different, and probably the difference maker in this slate for me, is going to be Donovan Mitchell, because nobody is going to roll up Donovan Mitchell at 9.5 except yours truly. So there's your contrarian buy up for me. And you look at everybody else around him. Ingram's 8.4, DeAnthony Melton 8.2. Can you believe that he's that high? But I just think that I love this step up for him against Milwaukee. Really important game for Cleveland to show what they're made of as an up-and-coming challenger to Milwaukee. And Mitchell, I think, takes that mantle. I know Garland, it's been his team, but I think Mitchell is such a leader and so respected. I think that we get a good game from him at almost no ownership whatsoever. A couple other things. I think that Nurkic, as we just stated, ends up being a terrific play at 6.8. I also really like Bol, and he's 7.2, and there's so much value at center. A lot of people are not going to go to him. A lot of people, I would say a lot more people are going to go to Bamba. I like Bol better than Bamba here. Another differentiator. Bamba's 6,400. It's not like he's a free square. It's only 800 more to get up to Bol. Bol certainly, in my opinion, can score the ball a lot better. But you do have a lot of really cheap centers. Joe Val's only 6,300. Al Horford's 56. Claxton, who Debs likes, is 52. We mentioned Olynyk at 52. So you do have a lot of options. Poku at 5K. If you think Harrell or Reed, whichever one you want to choose, 4,900, 4,800. I'm not going with either one because I personally think they split duties there. So that'll give you a little feel for some of our main builds that I'm looking at there. And then on FanDuel, I'm in the same boat. If I had to give you a couple of surprise guys here, I think Okongwu, if Capella's ruled out, I think is going to be extremely sneaky, and he's really cheap. He's dead min on Yahoo if you're going to play there as well. If we do get Capella news, we can follow that one. Joe K, how are you? I know I'm in the dark today. I'm in a different spot. I'm traveling, and I have all my white gear on. So you know what? You don't need to see me that much today. Hello, family. I love you guys, but I'll make it later tomorrow. I'll get in a little bit better spot that you guys can see me better. So I've been told the darker, the better. So you don't have to see the face that only a mother can love. Correct? Coach Mom's in here. Coach Mom wouldn't say that. She'd have my back. All right. Do I like the Joker? I'm not going to go up for the Joker. I just haven't seen the same ceiling feel for the Joker. And I say that and he'll have 100 fantasy points today. But I don't know. Last year and the year before, I felt like, okay, we're going to get a big number from a Joker, like 90. I don't have that feel this year. I don't know if it's their system's a little different. The rotation's a little different. Not going to go there. Yes, vampire mode. It's here. I'm here to suck your blood and take your money. That's what I'm doing tonight, KOS. Capella in. Well, damn it. That sucks. All right, so there goes my Okongwu play. Not going to play him now, and I would have loved to do that. But it is what it is. Can't have all the value when you want it. Saruji, I'm not going Joker, but you can get him lower than you would think. Absolute Power wants to know if I'm going balanced tonight. He's going balanced. Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people are using that. I think I'm going to be not total stars and scrubs, but not totally balanced either. I'm going to have a few with Ja and Spider Mitchell, and a few guys like that. But then I'm going to try to be reasonable rather than going down to the dirt cheap. I'm going to, try to roll up with a Bowl and some of the other guys that aren't dirt cheap, but I think are really good value under the circumstances. So Aaron Sampson, how are you, my friend? Great to see you in there. And then Yahoo's a similar type situation. You can get Jaw there for 44, which I think is reasonable. You know, SGA, if you do determine to go that route, $49. I'm not going to spin that direction. I know Deb likes Jason Tatum. He's 48 there, which is fair. That's another option for you. Couple of other guys I think that you need to think about. Kristaps Porzingis at 36 bucks. As much as I don't like the particular player himself, he is in a great spot here with Miami being short inside. Bam, yes, but they don't have all their regular guys. The rotation defensively is just totally different. Kyrie's a fair price at 35 if you want to go there on Yahoo. Certainly a bunch of really lower price guys. I think Yahoo's probably the spot where you can go a little more stars and scrubsy because you can get some $10, $12, and $14 players pretty easily. And if you do that, it gives you a lot of options to buy up in different spots. So a lot of possible different builds tonight. I'm going to be pretty contrarian looking at this initial ownership. I think some of it's going to change as we go. But I want to say a couple things real quickly. First of all, appreciate everybody taking the time to be in here. We have a great group today. If you really want to help us out, hit the thumbs up. If you also hit the subscribe button and the alert so you know when any of our podcasts post. We're going to do two more things. I'm going to give a ticket away. And as soon as I call your name out, so if you haven't made a comment, make a quick comment there and ask any last second questions and then get into the drawing because somebody's going to win a ticket. If I call your name, go to Twitter. We're at DFS Coach Talk. Shoot me your PayPal email and we'll send that ticket over to you to play in tonight's big competition, which there's a lot of games, a lot of great contests, some terrific ones. I definitely like Quentin Grimes. He's one of my value plays now that Reddish is out. He's not a plug and play across the board, but where I need that value, I think Grimes is a reasonable play. Not going to be 100% owned by any stretch, though, for me. Let's see. Anybody else? Any other? Alvarado? Yes, I do like Alvarado, but it's asinine the amount of ownership that he's grabbing. I mean, he's by far the most owned guy on the slate. I sort of like him and Jaw both in the same game. I really do. I think it makes sense. So, unfortunately, as a boy from Cali would say, I will be chewing up all the chalk on that play. I just like the price. And we know that he's, when you can grab 5-6 steals and it not be a surprise to anybody, almost an expectation, you got to take a look at him. KOS likes Powell, Knox, and Sexton. Well, that's, you're going to have some interesting builds there and save some money. I get it. I do not like Coffee. I don't trust him. I love real Coffee, but not Coffey. I do not trust him. I would much rather go with Mann or Morris. My go-to Morris. I'm the Morris whisperer like I used to be with him last year. For a lot of the times we put him up there and he'd grab a surprising 50 burger. So maybe today is the day. I know Eason's grabbing all that ownership. He's 23%. You know what? I'll tell you what that is. This is a guess. I have no clue that this is the case. I think probably some of the other touts that are on and people watch on YouTube are jumping on the Eason bandwagon. And it could be, I think that's probably a little fake ownership. I don't believe that is the direction to go unless we see the starting lineups and we have Eason in there and he's going to be slotted. I just think I would rather go with Garuba if he's starting. I'll take a look at Jabari Smith if they bump him and start him at center. There's just a couple of different combinations. Also, KJ Martin, I think, is a better play. So that's what I feel. So I'm not on the Eason side of things. I think that's just, people tuning in, listening to some other opinions out there. That's my guess. All right, we're going to pull a winner for the ticket today. And the winner for the ticket today is Travis Wyndham. Travis Wyndham has won again. I think he's a multiple winner, man. Luck box. Travis Wyndham. always getting pulled on the randomizer. I wonder if he's cracked the code and he's got it figured out. I don't know, man, but congratulations, my friend. I'll look for that quick DM on at DFS Coach on Twitter. Check everything out as we're coming up on a busy weekend. Crash and I are going to attack the NBA slate tomorrow. We're going to build a two brains are better than one lineup on there. And then, of course, Sunday morning, Steven and Crash will break down all of the football for you. And I will have solo basketball duties on Sunday as well. Appreciate you, Saruji, and I apologize for the darkness in the background. And, you know, it's time for everybody's traveling, moving around, and we certainly didn't want to miss out on a podcast for you. So hopefully this helps. I really like it. I have it as of right now, a 4.5 out of 5 crown slate. So I'm excited. For members, come on in. It is Black Friday / Cyber Sunday or Monday that we're going to have today, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So in those 4 days, if you sign up and get a membership at Coach Talk, you're going to get double for nothing. It's a BOGO. So you buy a week, you get a week. You buy a month, you get a month, and so on. So just go to dfscoachtalk.com, and it's hard not to pass up, get the double for just one cost of what it would normally be for that price. So take advantage of that. If you haven't tried us out yet, it's a perfect time to do it. We cover all the major sports. We're giving ownership out there. Boy from Cali's putting that ownership up so you can get those initial lineups together. Then we post updated 1 hour before lock, which he's already done in our Discord. And, there's a lot of important things in there that you're going to want to check out and see, because we use them all, including, watching the games and making those distinctions. So really do appreciate it. Anyone you would lock in at 7 p.m. game. So you're saying in the early slate itself, let me see, because I know some people want to make some pivots at that time. We've got 45 minutes until lock. So the 7 o'clock games are Philadelphia and Orlando. I like Bowl at 7-2. Everybody else is going to Mo Bamba at 6-4. That's just me. I'm also looking at Shake Milton because he's only 6K. I think Tobias Harris, if you're going to spend up at 8K, not a lock button by any stretch, but I do like Bowl a lot today. If you do have the extra cash and you're going with a more mid build instead of stars and scrubs, and you want to spend 7.5 on Franz Wagner, I think that's a decent play as well. I wouldn't go to Banchero at 8-6. First game back, he's probably going to be limited, so you're going to want to steer clear of that. That's the only 7 o'clock game, my friend. 7:30 game, we know is Portland and the Knicks. So if you want to jump on that game before there's like a million games starting at 8 o'clock, for me, I like Justice Winslow as one of my sleeper plays. He's only 4-1, not a ton of ownership. I think he really grabs some of that usage as he has been with Dame out, and he's super cheap. And I like the ownership number right now. And then Grimes is the other value play on the other side. So this would be a game I'd love to have a one-off on both sides, save that cash, not go total stars and scrubs, but that allows me to get to Ja and Mitchell, eat the chalk on Alvarado, and then build around those guys. So that's what I would have in the 2 early games. Let's see. Anything else? No, I'm not on Hield today, but I don't think he's the worst play because there's going to be a lot of points in that game. All right, my friends, I think we got it. We got everything in there. We got our winner. We're set to go, and then definitely catch Crash and I tomorrow. We'll break it all down, and I'll get in a lighter situation here so you guys can see me. I would hate to not grace you with this face that only a mother can love, but, I'm sure I love all you guys, family first here in this group, and come and join us, dfscoachtalk.com. Take advantage of that BOGO Black Friday, Cyber Monday deal. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you, and we will see you tomorrow when we look to crush it in NBA DFS and Boom Fantasy.